Go to share it. It worked.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes, perfect. Now, finally, we are online. We are on YouTube as well.
Okay.
Guys, please welcome Richard Wang. He is managing partner at Draper Dragon Fund. And now his speech is about how VC, how venture funds help to build blockchain infrastructure. Yes, here are you. The stage is yours. Go ahead, Richard.
Okay. Thank you, Sergey. So sorry about everybody. So I got some connection earlier. So finally I got on here. Okay. I do have some slide to share you guys. So let me do it now. Okay. So yep. Here it is. So I think this is better, right? So I'd like to show you how the venture capital can help out to build up the blockchain infrastructure. But maybe you guys feel strange, right? Because of what the venture capital do is only investment, but it's not necessarily true because we need to help out the ecosystem. So if you are aware that some venture capital actually invest the whole ecosystem, whole the food chain from very beginning all the way to maybe the secondary market. So the reason we do so is that for some portion that we do the strategic investment and trying to help out us to have maybe better the deal sourcing, maybe better value added to the company that we are investing, and later on we are expecting they have a much higher return. So well, it's not just investment money or invest capital. So that's what I try to say. Okay, so I give a very short introduction about ourselves. We have several funds. One fund we call is Draper Dragon Digital Assets Fund. Okay, so I think it's easier to understand that this fund actually is more focused on blockchain, right? So follow the instruction and also the guideline from our big boss, Tim Draper, that actually we invested this area for about 4 or 5 years already. So so those are our parts of our portfolios, including a lot of public chain, including some media, including some rating company like Token Insight, and including some apps, also wallet and also exchange. But here is only list parts of our portfolios. So when we say the infrastructure, we normally think about, yes, it's a public chain, right? And we think about it's a ledger, right? Some kind of software, enterprise software, it's a distributed ledgers. And some kind of filing, storage, and maybe sometimes people talking about staking as well, right? Because this all the things is trying to help out the so-called infrastructure, right? So this is about the blockchain itself. But back to the industry, how we are able to help out the industry, or say help out to educate the market. And we can think about incubator, for example, right? So there's a very one good example is that, even in Tim Draper's ecosystem, we have a university, we have a incubator, we have an accelerator, and of course a VC and also some PE, all in the Silicon Valley, okay? And in China, Draper Dragon, actually we are more focused on China market. So I will show something more about how we do this in China, okay? So yes, we're trying to work with some local government, trying to build a small incubators, help out the startups. That's what the VC can do, but not many VC doing this. But actually for the blockchain area, for the infrastructure to say, I think this is quite important because this market is still early, okay? And actually the technology itself is still not that mature, okay? Even technology itself, not just marketing, right? So normally if we think about the past few from the history, normally the technology is leading the market. But even blockchain, we don't measure the market. Even the technology itself is not that mature. So you are going to see the publication 2.0, 3.0, something like that. And you are going to see all the different storages, all the different the consensus scheme, right? So POXYZ, something like that, okay? So anyway, incubator is one way to help out the startup company to help out those funders and trying to bring more resource to them, okay, and bring the industry resources, bring the government resources, bring the developer resources. So, okay, and I think the second one is very important is that there's another something VC doing, government lobbying, okay? I don't believe that in other area, other industry people are busy doing that. But we do know, of course, the US SEC, they have a lot of power to try to, for example, right, last week, two weeks, a couple weeks ago, they just, you know, the Telegram just, okay, give up, okay, right, Telegram just give up. But anyway, so this is really very important to do the government lobby is because right now the regulation is not mature either. The regulation need to be involved as well. And at this moment, if we're trying to bring up not just the infrastructure, but the infrastructure itself is not just about a public chain, it's also about the apps, okay? Because there's no apps, those infrastructure is no use, and maybe they are never to survive in 2 years, something like that, right? So we have to talk to the government, even educate them, give them some kind of training and tell them what is the technology trend, what is this going to transform finance, transform the public service, transform all the economies, right? So do so. And this is not something VC did before, but mention again, how can help, right? Because in the blockchain, there's something we can do to help out building, okay, help out the regulation and
Yeah, what's happening? Richard, are you with us? Yeah, just for a couple of seconds, reconnected. Now Richard's come back to us. We see him. Yes, Richard, you're back. Just turn on your mic. Everything is going well. Just turn on your mic. Your microphone just disconnected.
Okay, got it.
Now it works. Perfect.
Okay, good. I guess I was monitored by the government here, right?
No. It's okay. Now you're only here.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know. Okay, so let me move to the next page. How can I move that? Maybe I think I need to stop.
Maybe you have to unshare. I can
unshare, right, I guess. How to do it? Unshare. Right.
I can do it. Yes. Wait a second, please. I can stop the participation.
Oh, that's what's shared by you now, so I can do nothing. Anyway, I don't really. No, that's fine. I guess I can continue.
Okay, I see.
Okay,
Just give
that's
a
fine.
couple seconds.
So yes, yeah. So by doing so, actually, we also invest in the media, right? We do we have a rating company, and let me see, and right, we help to the developers, and not by say so. Actually, we also trying to bring the business for the public chain company. We even try to bring the business to them. For example, we talk to the public company and talk to discuss with them what kind of enterprise solution they may need, right? And so to do so, we are able to help out those public company. And also, we talk to the government and try to bring some business from government, because now government got a budget and they have a lot of use case from the public service. So that's how we can help them. And I guess the last point I want to say is that China now just developed a so-called BSN, right? We call a blockchain.
I'm sorry, Richard. Just try to turn off one of the speech, because we hear you twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
just
how can
turn only Zoom on. Everything you can close. Now you're able to share your screen as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't worry.
Come back now. Wow, it's really.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
It's working. Yeah.
Right. This what I just mentioned, right? about, and we also help out the do the hackathon, something like that. All the thing is what we venture capital can do to help out all the infrastructure. Okay, so I guess the final point I want to talk about the BSN. Okay, now China is building the so-called blockchain-based surface network. This was actually start by China Unicom, China Information Center, and also China Mobile. So this kind of infrastructure is try to help out the China developer, not just China, sorry, global developer, help them to develop the apps. So this infrastructure is going to provide lower cost, higher speed, and tons of the nodes and also storage filing to help out those apps developers. So those developers just simply learn some kind of language so they can deploy the apps. And these things is going to help out the infrastructure, help out the ecosystem. And what we can do as a venture capital, we bring all those public chain company to them because this kind of network, this kind of platform is going to support all the different platform. So we say cross platform, right? So I think there are a lot of things we can do as a venture capital to help out this. So I just shared whatever that we have done for the things we are doing. Okay. So also not just the BSN. Also, if you heard about that, China also promote they are going to have the new infrastructure development in next 5 years, and the government is going to put the 150 billion USD to help all those things, including the high-speed train, subway systems, state grid, 5G, AI, IoT stuff, and actually all the things is going to have the distributed ledger software embedded involved. So this kind of develop the physical infrastructure things is also help out the blockchain infrastructure, the developers as well. And what we can do again, we need to involve all those projects and bring those all those blockchain players, project company into this new infrastructure ecosystem. Okay, so I guess that's what I will share this time.
Okay, perfect. I see your time is over as well. Yeah, and our panelists are ready to move forward on our event.
Yes.
Richard, thanks you a lot. Yes.
No problem. Sorry about the trouble, the connection.
No. Everything is good. Everything is the best. Now we are going to our next panel. We're going to our panelists. Richard, we have to say you goodbye. Nice to meet you here.
Okay.
Yes. See you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Ivan, you can turn on your camera. I see all the panelists here, or not yet. George, nice to meet you. Ryan, Thomas as well. Turn your cameras, please. We are here on the panel, and now, yes, we can try to make it happen.
So we are waiting for Joshua from Binance, and we are waiting for Vinod from JAX Network. So
I think, yes,
let's
Ivan,
wait.
it will be good that you turn on your camera, please.
Yes.
The speakers are already here. They are already available. We are on live now. Please, yes. We can start somehow being.
I think not all speakers are here. So we are waiting. We are still waiting for Joshua from Binance and for Vinod from JAX Network. So let's wait a couple of minutes.
I think the best way to not wait for a couple of minutes, you can go ahead, you can speak with your panelists, and you can, find out the way how to make it happen in this couple of minutes before speakers come.
Yeah, we're also waiting for Charles Tsai. So I think it's better. So because we are still waiting for 3 people, and so I think it's better to wait. Or we can start with Ryan and Josh to discuss their topics. And so let me also make short coverage. So the topic of the session is how blockchain helps to revolutionize capital markets. And I do believe it's very kind of like very broad topic, and there are many applications of blockchain regarding the capital markets. Oh, I see Charles is joining right now. And yeah, So I would like to introduce the panelists, so which already joined the panel. So Josh Chu from FIO1, Ryan Leckie from Tezos Foundation, so Chief Security Officer, and so I see Charles Tsai from Infinivision. And so Charles also had a background in McDonald's China, so he can also share the insights how the blockchain can be applied to several industries. So we are still waiting for Weinert and for Joshua. Let me share the. Oh, I just got the message from Joshua that he cannot join because of the connection is weak in his countryside, so he loses the Wi-Fi.
Charles, Thomas, please turn on your cameras. We are on air now. That's why it'll be great to see your faces.
Okay, so what I would like to suggest is to start with short introductions by the speakers, by panelists. So and Charles, so maybe you will be the first one. So let's make short introduction about your background and about yourself, and then we can move forward.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. I just left McDonald's China. I was a CEO and the Chief Data Officer as well, Chief Information Officer for McDonald's China for over 2 years. And before that, I was working for Wanda, which is the biggest commercial properties business in China. And before that, I was working as a chief architect for energy trading in business, British Petroleum, as well as Barclays Capital investment bank. So my background is all about digital transformation for this kind of big, we call entity or physical businesses. So my particular interest is about big data and modern distributed computing and IoT, as well as a blockchain, of course. So yeah, that's my background. And Infinivision is actually a joint venture between my one of my research and development institute and Citic Capital, as well as McDonald's China. So I'm the co-founder and the CEO of the startup company. It's all about distributed computing plus blockchain plus AI. So which we can discuss later. That's me. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So Ryan.
Sure. Hi, I'm Ryan Lackey. I'm Chief Security Officer of Tezos Foundation. I live in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I've been interested in cryptography and digital cash probably since the early 1990s, so a pretty long time, with Chaumian tokens and all sorts of other stuff. And you have to see a lot of these things we tried in the 90s, early 2000s. Not a whole lot of traction trying to get central banks to deploy the technology first, and just sort of seeing how hard it was to build these things before everybody had a secure laptop or a phone that they carried with them at all time and get people to actually use it. And it's amazing to see how every year now there's probably more progress than has happened over the previous like 20 years. So it's very exciting. And one of the things I've been working on for the last couple of years has been capital markets use of digital blockchain technology at Tezos.
Okay, perfect, great. So George.
Yeah, George.
Hi, hi, it's George. Hey, how are you, everyone? In my last 12 years in China, I spent my 12 years in China, and I co-founded the CNET company which is listed on NASDAQ. I think it's one of the few blockchain company now is listing on NASDAQ right now. Basically, I left the company in last year and founded this company called Fio.one. And so what we do, basically, what we are trying to figure out and provide is a real implementation toolbox for blockchains, whether on the private chain, public chain, or consortiums. Okay, so my whole background, basically, I'm a Taiwanese. I was born in Taiwan, but I grew up in Australia and got my educated in Canada and went Harvard in the States. And then, you know, after Harvard, I dived into China. So that's how my experience is. Yeah.
Okay,
So I think today is a
great.
very exciting day because we can share all these kind of things. I mean, it's great, especially in the COVID-19 situations.
Yeah, definitely right. And Vinod, can you turn on your camera? Yeah, can you share a little bit about your background? And yeah, I think you need to unmute your microphone, so because we cannot hear.
Okay, yeah. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are building a blockchain. So we have a solution for the scalability problem. And once we get that done, we're hoping to build like a limited smart contract system that can facilitate like a stock exchange kind of, platform. That's what
Okay,
we are
so
working
you are
on.
building the solution for stock exchange platform, right?
Yeah, but on top of our scaling solution. So the scaling solution is the bottom layer. On top of that, we build this, kind of like crypto stock exchange.
Okay, nice, perfect. So what I would like to suggest. So all of you have suggested some like topics you want to cover, and so I would like to suggest that Charles to start with. So his cross-border industry career backgrounds in McDonald's China and VP Trading Division. So actually, so why should investors and big enterprises pay attention to startups with DLT-enabled customer like loyalty innovation? And so the second one is why blockchain plus IoT is the perfect area for investors to seek clean energy and opportunities trends. So Charles, yeah, your turn on this.
So immediately after end of January, I've been so busy with the team and the management to address the challenge we are facing. Basically, our business was shrunk to less than half, and more importantly, the behavior changed. People don't want to be queued up in the restaurants, and because we come back, we came back to work to office around the middle of February. So yeah, people need to have lunch, So during the lunchtime, our restaurants are still busy, but of course we have to change the software, the apps, and the mini programs, which is within WeChat and Alipay. So that's are very popular. We call omni-channels. People can reach us. So there are behavior change very apparent within and after post COVID-19 this outbreak. So, and on the other hand, because of the challenge, it's a big chain restaurants are facing, and more small restaurants, small business they are having really difficult time even now. So, and on the other hand, we're also facing the really very this kind of competition coming from the internet giants. So how we are going to develop more membership to not only serve our own existing customers, but also potential other customers, especially B2B. For example, other banks, for example, they are facing slow down economy as well. So while we are busy working on this, as I mentioned earlier, changing of apps, these kind of processes, we are focusing more and more on the B2B side. Let's use an example. For example, if we can link a loyalty program with the bank, and normally you would understand that the banks, they are having huge customers as well. For example, we have more than 120 million registered users, and you pick up any bank, like even not a tier 4, a tier 1 bank, you still have a bank with say 80 million customers. Now we can create a tokenized voucher to enable customer data exchange, so that we can fund. Of course, we're not going to send all of 80,000 customers these McDonald's vouchers, but rather using AI, big data to identify within their domain who might be interested, so that we can create this kind of a link. Now, the reason I mentioned tokenized, we haven't implemented this kind of a loyalty program, B2B network, but we've been through a lot of kind of product design, and definitely blockchain DLT is the way to go. So with big organization like McDonald's, we do have a lot of technologists, but again, we would be encouraging startups and to provide this kind of a platform, so that not only us, we can try, but also our ecosystem partners can try, because so long as that's not another restaurant or dining brand, that we pretty much can collaborate. So this kind of idea, because I hope startups with their fast kind of innovation speed can help big organizations like us who are suffering from the outbreak, but we are open to test great ideas. So definitely this is the way to go, I believe, for at least for the hospitality industry. We should be looking at, also the investors should be looking at those innovative ideas, and we are more than happy to facilitate as far as I can see, because there's so many so many opportunities coming from those pressure to compete, and also for the business recovery. So that's my observation, and also our own practical examples we are experimenting in our ecosystem to counter attack this really negative impact of outbreak. Although if you are in China, you can see a lot of, especially as I mentioned earlier, during the lunchtime, you pretty much can see business as usual. But in reality, we are still suffering much reduced business customer flow. Hopefully, that's of course there's a lot of technical details we can discuss, but definitely I think there's definitely a need for this kind of investment. And also, and the reason actually I quit McDonald's is that my background is energy. So when after 3 months of hard work in combating this coronavirus, it's also my big career change again, back to where I came from. That's the big energy trading, because we noticed, and you guys must have noticed as well. So suddenly the pollution is gone. We can see blue skies a lot of times, and I found the news there in Venice, you can see the clean water. So yeah, I really want to devote myself into clean energy again. And yeah, exactly. So I'm switching the topic, because for me it's a big change out of this outbreak. It's actually another big career change. So I'm about to go back to energy trading area, but focusing more on the physical. And it's a massive. There's a huge demand for.
Because we actually have just 10 minutes left, so maybe like a little bit more. So I would like to ask George regarding the real implementation of financial application like on blockchain using DLT and why it is working now. So can you share your view on this? So like real financial applications.
Okay. Hello guys, can you guys hear me? Good?
Yes.
Okay, good. I might just continue what Charles just mentioned. Yeah, because in this process of going through the COVID-19, I think we do face two issues. First of all, the offline business are really going down, okay? And the online business are really coming up faster. And also, in the past years, okay, when people talk about trading the luxury products or doing anything that need a heavy trust stuff, it's not happening. But I think with the coffee process, people see the opportunities. People need a transparency, full transparency of everything, particularly for the medical information, particularly for the real estate. I mean, the luxury, like diamond, everything. So what happened is what happened is, I think for the past 6 months, I see a tremendous growth or need, especially for the business like mine, the field. So we are more like, the SaaS toolboxes, build everything on the blockchains with the private and public, okay? So people don't have to worry about it. And so in this process, we have seen 4 cases I'm going to give you guys very quickly about what we have done. First of all, I think everyone knows Taiwan being one of the safest place in COVID-19 situation, okay? And our team did a great job that we did the mask 1.0 system for the Taiwan government, okay? The mask 1.0 distribution system. And we did this whole system amazingly, use the field infrastructure with blockchains. We did everything, connect all the 3 to 4 different government entities in less than about 3 to 4 hours done. Okay, why we can do that when another system integrator company come into to do that and need about a week to complete everything because of the blockchain, because of the transparency, immutable data. So it reduces the time for data verifications. And that's the beauty of that one. And then moving into the second cases, which is the a chicken company, okay, that's very related to McDonald's. It's called Dacheng Food Asia, which has been a supplier to McDonald's in China, okay? So Dacheng Food Asia, what we're doing with them refers to Charles said, we see the opportunity of combining the blockchain, IoT, and the NFCs, okay? So for every chicken process or the chicken who produce eggs, we call the egg chicken, that, the NFC is implemented. They use the IoT to monitor, and this IoT information without any human intervention directly going into blockchains for the risk and flow management. In that cases, they are looking for reduction of waste or any bacteria infections by 1%. And for the company, for the agricultural company, that it has a profit margin like about 2 to 3%. If there's a 1% decrease, it's a huge profit already, okay? And the third cases that we did is on esport cases, okay? So there is a esport team that's owned by the Jay Chou, which is a superstar in Asia, and also the other guy called Jeremy Lin, the ex-NBA player, which is the Linsanity, okay? So what we did with them together, they use our 2 boxes to create a liquidity of IP sales in a very trustworthy ways, okay? So they can break their IPs into small pieces. For example, for the IP right, you print on your cell phone, print on your t-shirt, put on your mug, and you are able to track all the sales. It doesn't matter where it goes, okay? And the fourth one is most related to capital market. It's the project we're doing with the largest crypto exchanges in Taiwan called BitoPro. This exchange is one of the very exciting exchanges, not only focus on cryptocurrencies, but they focus on the real implementation. And this project that we combine with a TradeVan. TradeVan is a semi-government entities. They processing the whole custom reporting for Taiwan. And every year, this entity, they processing about 500 billion USD import and export. And right now, we have about 40,000 businesses registered on this supply chain financing system, with about producing, look at about 6 billion electronic receipts on the blockchains. And the reason we implement blockchains, once again, go to the fundamental things, or think on verifications, trust, transparencies. And then we connect it to all the major e-commerce platforms. So small, medium businesses, they are able to do the financing on a very full, transparent way without any marking funny businesses on the data. Okay, so what we see that the very exciting things that the blockchain combined with IoT, I see it's coming, especially with the 5G coming down. It's going to be very exciting in the next 2 years. And the second thing is that, like Charles said, the DOT technologies that we implemented combined with public chain technologies for the supply chains, that's going to be very exciting. So that is why I think the capital market is going to experience a huge changes and transitions after these COVID-19 situations. And not too sure how the bank will handle the situations because they have a huge legacy systems. But I think there's a new opportunity for new form of banks coming up and also new form of businesses once we can get this implementation all down. And for Phil, what our position is, we provide two boxes. Anyone can create the solution with us or use the template solution that we have set up with our 18 sample clients in 10 industries. So that's pretty much on my end.
Okay, great. And so next I want to ask Ryan, so about like direct equivalence of existing financial products so that blockchain can create, and also like the things which are possible only on blockchain. So Ryan, your view on this?
Hi. Yes, over the last year or two, we've seen people roll out the new STOs on blockchain. So basically securities that are issued initially on blockchain, asset-backed of various kinds. What's worked really well has been real estate-backed because I think a lot of people understand it, and because the existing systems for transferring real estate title between people are not as efficient as, say, the security settlement and clearance systems that are used for public market equities. So I think there's been a lot of innovation there. There's probably also a big market for non-public companies, so private company stock that's normally done in OTC deals or otherwise highly liquid, just a way to track people's capital tables for a small business, pre-IPO business, everything else, where they want to just be able to know who owns the company at any given time. It's amazing how a lot of those things are tracked in Excel spreadsheets right now. And because of people with convertible debt and a bunch of rounds of financing, there are a bunch of people that are CEOs of companies that if you ask them, what percentage of your company do I currently own as an investor, it would actually require they email the CFO and have a calculation done to give you the exact number, which is pretty crazy. And then there's also, I think one of the things we've seen with COVID-19 is a lot of businesses that are really big businesses haven't really been affected all that much. Like maybe their stock price goes down a little, but it doesn't really affect big companies that are doing retail. I'm sure Amazon's doing better business than it has before and everything else, but a lot of small businesses are really affected by this. Companies like local restaurants, local cafes, bars, things like that, that don't really have access to existing capital markets today. Their access to capital markets is they go to a local bank or they go to friends and families of the founders and things like that to try to raise very small amounts of financing. And there's a lot of difficulty with doing an equity investment in a business that's a small business without knowing the principles really well. Because it's so hard to do accounting, it's so hard to track your investment and everything else. So I think blockchain technology is going to allow new forms of financing for small businesses. In the US, we saw the Groupon, which was the sort of like the group buying startup, where you think about it as a consumer, what it is, it's the way to buy a gift certificate as a discount up front. But as a retail business, what it actually was a way to finance your business in advance. You'd be able to sell a bunch of your like yoga classes or whatever else at a big discount up front, but you get a check within 30 days that would let you operate the business. And then over the next 2 years, those might be redeemed. I think we might see things like that moved onto the blockchain. So gift certificates, other forms of customer financing for future business, and maybe third parties that are offering receivables financing and other sort of structured non-equity financing instruments like that might be tradable. And we might see some very more sophisticated things that are either done as a one-off for a given business. So maybe you have a business that has a very strong piece of IP, and you might be able to raise money collateralized against that IP. So every copy of this product that you produce, you then pay $1 to the holders of a token or something like that. And there's a lot of innovations possible just because the transaction costs are lower and the ability to do sort of custom small issues is a lot smaller. I think to do an IPO for a company on a public equities market, probably roughly the same cost, independent of how much in terms of difficulty and time and everything else, largely independent of the size of the issue. So no one's going to IPO their local like cafe, but on blockchain systems, it's a lot easier to tailor that for the individual size of businesses. Some innovation there.
Okay, nice. So, and I think the last coverage from Vinod. So, can you please share your view on stock exchange implementation? So, like, what's your solution for this? Yeah, please unmute your microphone because we cannot hear you.
Sorry, I keep doing that.
Yeah.
So, first off, we weren't supposed to be on this call, but I think pretty much Ryan covered all the possible things that could be done. So we are working on now Ryan's thing, Ryan's vision of how blockchain could facilitate the evolution of capital markets has three problems. One is the scalability problem. The second is, people don't use cryptocurrency on a large scale. So there's the mass adoption problem. And the third thing is security. So we are working towards fixing the scalability problem, because smart contracts, assuming they're secure, pretty much do everything that Ryan wants to do. All we need is a scalable system, which is mass adoptable, so that everybody can facilitate these kind of like rapid, equity swaps and, crowd financing and stuff. So that's what we are working on. And if you'd like to know more, you could check out our vision. It's too much to go through this call.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice. So we are actually finishing our panel at this moment. So thank you very much all for participating and for sharing your views. It's really valuable, I think, and we will share the live streaming and so the recording on YouTube that people can actually see this. So thank you very much, and sorry for some technical issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.